What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for some more content for you guys, and it is combined 11 time. We got Lewis here, we got Sim here to go through the Tottenham Chelsea combined 11. A bit of look, I think we always do these combined 11s, but we never put out rules about the combined 11. It's just a bit of a free for all every time we do it. So we're going to go 3-4-3 formation. We're going to say anyone who is available to play this weekend can get in the combined 11, and we're going to do it on current form. How does that sound?
Current form, yeah, Lewis.
Let's do it. We're going to get like 3 people in max, but let's go.
Yeah, I think we're both feeling that.
I don't know. I don't know about it, bro.
A mad one. Let's do it.
But look, we're going to start off with the goalkeeper. It's Fraser Forster against Kepa, right?
Yeah, I'd actually put Kepa in this one. I don't really think he's been one of our issues this season. He's been one of our best players, if I'm being honest. I'd put him up for one of our player of the years. Brilliant turnaround from him. Either doesn't get tested too much or just picking the ball out of the back of the net, but it's never really his fault other than maybe the Fulham or City games. Yeah, he's been reliable for us. I put Kepa in.
Do you reckon you're going to be your number one now for like a while, Kepa?
This season, yeah. Mendy has fallen off the face of the earth and he can't play the ball out of the back to save his life. Now he's making mistakes per game, and I see the defence looks a lot more nervous when they have him at the back instead of Kepa, which again, fair play to Kepa because that was him like 2 years ago. But yeah, Kepa's our number one till the end of the season for sure.
I don't think I can make any sort of argument for Fraser Forster, to be honest.
Maybe Forster of like 2012 when he was at Celtic, but I don't know about Forster now.
Like Forster, literally, you shoot it low and hard either side of him, that's it, it's a goal.
Because he's so tall and big, it takes him so long to get down. It's like, it's unbelievable.
We're going to give him a clean sheet. Great.
All right, so that's 1-0 Chelsea. Kepa is in goal. Let's go to the defence now. We'll start with the right centre-back. I'm going to put forward Cuti Romero. Who are you putting forward?
Right centre-back. I mean, I'd put Silva in, but I think Silva's going to get in any of these positions. So I don't really mind
He
Romero.
would play in the centre, wouldn't he? If he was playing the back three.
Yeah,
he playing a back
right
three.
centre-back. So who do we put instead?
Put like Azpilicueta maybe. Or...
Oh, no, not Aspi. Respect to Aspi, but no. Chalobah, maybe. Chalobah's had a very good season for us. He flies under the radar a lot. I think he's been very reliable, keeps things simple, but is very hard to beat 1v1. I'd want to put him in the 11, but like I think Romero's your best centre-back as well. I don't think he gets dropped out.
Yeah, I think Romero's our best centre-back by far. Aggressive, on the front foot, dinks those balls into the midfield as well, joins into the attack, World Cup winner. I mean, it's got to be Romero, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm picking. What did you see Romero in the World Cup? What did you think of him?
Yeah, he had a brilliant tournament. Him, who did he play with? Was it
Otamendi?
Yeah. Don't remember too much in terms of goals conceded, but like very impressive tournament. He's got that in his bank as well. So, yeah, honourable mention to Chalobah, but I get it, Romero goes in.
All right,
no sign of Koulibaly.
No sign of Koulibaly.
No,
there you go. No, wow.
Central centre-back, so you said Thiago Silva, right? Thiago Silva against Eric Dyer.
Easy. It's got to be Dyer, surely. looking at their medals, surely Dyer has to be.
Oh my God. But yeah, no, Dyer had a good season for you last season.
He did.
Even with that season last season, he still doesn't get above Thiago Silva, let's be honest.
To be fair, Thiago Silva's a bit of a freak. How is he? He's what, 37?
38.
How's he doing what he's doing? Look at like Ramos and people like that, and they're nowhere near as good as Silva still is.
I don't know. Like, even look at the likes of a Ronaldo, who's the same age, looks after his body the same way, and even he's dealing with age.
Different as a centre-back, though, isn't it? Than what?
I mean, you cover less ground, but like, I look at Thiago Silva's minutes instead. He's like one of our highest minutes in the squad last season, this season as well, and it's constantly an 8 out of 10 minimum.
It does. You look at Silva, he doesn't seem like a player who's aging. He doesn't seem like he's 38. He's as good as he was like 10 years ago. It's crazy.
Yeah, that guy's reading of the game is ridiculous. He just puts himself in the right place every time. He pings passes left, right, centre. When he declines, like, I'm not even going to be.
When's that going to be 45? Like, what's going to happen?
I don't know. Like, I'd give him an 8-year deal, personally. I'd give him the contract. But yeah, Silva has to go in.
All right, so Silva, Romero to make up the back three. I mean, Davis, Longley, take your pick.
Davis, we go for Davis.
I'd go Badiashile. I know it's been early days, but he's been very good. And to be honest, he's transformed our defence since he's come in. I think we've only conceded 1 goal under Badiashile since he's come in. Genuinely just looks so composed, always makes the right pass, always in the right position. Aerial demon as well. The guy's like 6'4", he's massive. I'd put Badiashile in personally.
Considering that, I think pretty sure Badiashile was on the list of Spurs centre-backs they wanted before Chelsea got him, and we're desperate for a left centre-back. I find it hard to say, like, yeah, our left centre-back's better than him. So I'm happy to have Badiashile in there, but obviously we haven't seen a lot of him, but he's probably better than what we have.
From what I've seen from him in a Chelsea shirt so far, I've been really impressed, to be honest. Really impressed. And I can't make any sort of argument for either.
I think he's one that Spurs definitely would have looked at if Chelsea hadn't.
And the rest of them.
Yeah, for sure.
And the rest. All right, so we've got 3 Chelsea players, 1 Spurs player so far, and that's the defence. And that kind of makes sense because Spurs' defence is just absolutely tragic. Let's move on to the wing-backs, and we'll go to right wing-back first. I mean, we signed Pedro Porro in January, but he just has played 1 game and it wasn't great. So Emerson Royale, he's like the flavour of the month at Spurs at the moment, showing some really good form. And what, you're going to put Reece James?
Yeah, I put Reece James in. I do think we've rushed him back a bit too soon, but you see the impact in Chelsea when he doesn't play. We literally fall off a cliff. I think he's our best right back. We could argue that he's our best player. Completely deserves the wages that he's on. I think that's our future captain as well. Last season was our best goal scorer, our best creator, and our best defender all rolled into one. Just rely so heavily on Reece James. So to me, has to go in.
I mean, if you're talking about quality of player and ability, I think James has potentially, or even not even potential, probably is one of the best fullbacks in the league, or 100%. I think defensively and offensively, he's absolutely brilliant. But if we're talking about form, which we outlined, I don't think there's a contest. I think Emerson's been much better for Emerson in the last few games. Probably, yes, in the last 5, 6, 7 games, has been absolutely brilliant. Has barely put a foot wrong. Has really stepped up his game when we've needed him to. Defensively, he's been impeccable. And Reece James has been in and out of the team when he has played. He kind of hasn't been the same Reece James as we've seen, as we know that he is. So if we're definitely talking about the last few months, I think Emerson has to go in. But if we're talking about form...
If it's the last few months, it's a little bit sticky because James has only had about 3 games. We brought him back against Bournemouth on Boxing Day, got injured, came back against Fulham. Yeah. Kind of rushed back. Kind of got cooked a little bit. Not really his fault, but Dortmund, he had an unbelievable performance. I don't know, though, because we are doing... Yeah, he was brilliant against Dortmund. That was his last game for us. We decided to rest him against Southampton for no reason at all.
Since he's come back in Fulham, has he been your best player, pretty much?
He's been one of. But to be honest, not a lot of people have stepped up. But James has still been up there. Just the Fulham game aside, that's been his only bad performance.
So I'm looking at Emerson, right, and if you would have asked a Spurs fan a month ago, everyone would have said sell Emerson. And now his good form has started, but it's only been 3 or 4 games, hasn't it?
Yeah, but City man of the match, a goal against West Ham. He's really been turning up with a lot of good performances. Two good games against City as well.
I think Barry won't forgive us if we don't put Emerson in this.
I don't know, I kind of just feel like on form, Emerson has to be there. We're not putting a treatment. We're not putting a treatment table in the 11. Oh, we were putting a player. Yeah. So I think Emerson has to be there.
I'm gonna say James, but you guys can make your call.
I mean, when you're just looking at the 2 players against each other,
there's no contest.
There's no contest. There's literally no contest because Reece James is one of the best right wing backs in the league. But Emerson, I think, is currently better on form.
That's it. That's the only argument we have.
That's the only argument we have.
And we're doing it on form.
We're in the absolute trenches.
Go on, Emerson.
I don't know how we're doing this, but Emerson has got into that.
Emerson.
Moving on to the midfield.
This was not my decision. This was not my decision.
Moving on to the midfield. I mean, our double pivot will probably be Højbjerg and Skip, I'm guessing. Højbjerg and Skip. Who's your 2 midfielders?
Zakaria was on the bench, so I'd put him there and I put Enzo in midfield.
Enzo's been awesome, I have to say. I really like the look of him.
And the fact he's done so well with just nothing around him to work with, fair play. I can see that guy's quality just when he goes onto the pitch. Going forward, the further forward he goes, the better he is. Defensively, he can still control the tempo of the game. 1v1, you can get past him. I won't lie, you can get past him, but like no midfielder's perfect, and all the other aspects of his game are excellent. I think Enzo walks into that team.
He's 21, and what's really impressed me is he's all in a short space of time at Chelsea. He's already shown both sides of his game. I think on his Chelsea debut against Fulham, he like had the most tackles on the pitch, the most interceptions. He was like everywhere. And then in his second game at West Ham, he like puts this pin perfect assist for João Felix with an amazing pass. It's like, okay, this guy can really play. He's like an all rounder. Yeah. And he's what, 21? Like this guy, he already pretty much he earned his place during a World Cup for Argentina. He wasn't starting that World Cup at the beginning, and then he earned his place and became one of their main players. That's how good this guy is. So, yeah, this guy, I think you spent 100 million euros on him, but I think it's going to be money well spent. 100%.
And it's even more impressive for someone just coming straight to a new league at that age, with that price tag behind him, only having like one big season. Who'd you sign him from? Benfica. You know what I mean? One good season for Benfica. So, yeah, Enzo walks into this team, and I think like it's just fair enough to settle on Enzo and Højbjerg. I think middle two.
Zakari has been good this season, but like he's also not had a lot of game time. So it's like, would I sign him based off this? It's only really if you put a gun to my head, because like he's not been bad, but I need to see a much bigger surface area before I make a judgment on him. Højbjerg, I know he's settled with you guys. There's a couple Spurs fans I see who don't really rate him, but I think he's a solid DM. Gives you everything you want defensively. It's just maybe offensively where there's a bit of a
it's funny you say that, because I think this season he's got like 5 goals and 5 assists. He's like he's really stepped up offensively this season. But it's interesting that you don't maybe consider Kovacic, because I've always rated Kovacic so highly.
So have I, but he's been arsed this season.
Yeah,
he's been
not even.
Like, in most games I've seen from him, he's been poor. I can't. If we're doing a recent form, I can't speak on Kova.
Well, fair enough. All right,
so we're settling on Enzo and Højbjerg.
Yeah. Pretty solid midfield.
With the form with Højbjerg, right, since the World Cup, I think he's actually been poor, Højbjerg, but very recently in the last couple of games when he has played, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah, he scored against Brentford, but then he started against City. He played really well in that game, and then he had a great game against West Ham as well. So he started to play well again.
All right, left wing back. I mean, we got to put Perisic in because we got no one else. Who are you going for?
It would be... it's either Chilwell or Cucurella, and neither have been great, really.
Well, you're in luck because neither has Perisic.
I'm going to say... it's hard with these two. A lot of Chelsea fans...
What happened with Chilwell, though? Because he was brilliant when he first came into your team.
It's just all those injuries. Like, with Chilwell, it's not a case where I look at you and I think you're not good enough. It's like, you've just come back from an ACL. It's going to impact your game management. He's been poor most games as a result of it. That's fine. Like, I'll give you time and all of that. But I have to be real about it. He's not been great. Cucurella, I think people scapegoat him a little bit too much. He has had his poor games, I won't lie. But like,
just quickly on that, you say people scapegoat him. Is Mudryk one of them? Because wasn't he caught liking a tweet saying that that Chelsea should get a new left back when Cucurella played?
He's a bit cheeky on Instagram, but I understand the frustration too. 2 games in a row where Cucurella just completely ignored him. But Cucurella's issue's been more off the pitch. He's had like tonsillitis. There's been talk of family issues that haven't been discussed, but that ain't my business anyway. I'll put Cucurella in there, but like his form ain't been great.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I've had my problems with Perisic this season, and especially of late, I do think he's been better than Cucurella this season. The attacking output from Perisic as well, I think, speaks for itself. How many assists has he got? Like 9 assists in all competitions this season.
Wow.
So that output, I think that output just about weighs him in. Defensively, he's been pretty poor, to be fair. I don't know how Cucurella's been defensively. I know going forward he hasn't really contributed too much. But is he one at 60 million you're thinking he could be out the door soon?
Nah, Cucurella I'm patient with. I think a lot of the issues are basically just him off the pitch, and I think it's impacting him. That and like the fans are just picking on Cucurella really, and I don't really understand why. It's like you lot will clap Mount off the pitch for having a stinker every week, but Cucurella gets booed off. Figure that one out. Cucurella will come good. He'll come good.
All right, so we're going for Perry?
Just about. I think he squeezes
Perisic.
it in.
On that awful form, Perisic just about squeezes in. Let's go on the front three now. Starting on the right-hand side, we're going to go for Dejan Kulusevski. Who are you going for?
Just take it.
not even paying anyone forward.
Honestly, like, Madueke has been too early. He's been all right. Sterling, he hasn't been great under Potter. Ziyech's just very hot and cold. I'd pick Sterling, but like Sterling's only just come back from injury, and his form before that wasn't even really worth hyping about. He gets a goal here and there, and he's another one who I think will be good once you have better players around him. But there's got to be Kulusevski. There's got to be.
Madueke's one where I'm a bit like annoyed that Chelsea got him, because we looked Spurs very close to getting him. I think it was a couple of years ago.
Getting him, he comes from.
I mean, we had him, and we let him go.
He did,
we had him, we let him go, and then we very nearly got him back a couple of years ago, and I think he was just a bit too expensive for us at the time. Even though you spent probably more money than we were going to spend then, but he could be very good in the future. He was amazing at PSV. So he's 19, isn't he? So
yeah, I see the talent in him. Like he's very physical for a dribbler that is that quick. And I think he just overplays things a little bit too much, but it's early days. I'm not going to beat him down for that. I think he'll come
over time as well. Yeah, I mean, next season, if we're looking at the back end of next season, I mean, this combined 11 could be very different with all the new players that
looking
Chelsea
back, it will be funny.
Yeah.
Or if we did this in like 6 weeks' time, it'll probably be very different. But we're lucky we're getting him in early.
All right, so we got Deki on the right, left-hand side. I mean, we got Heung-min Son. Who have you got?
I'm going to put Felix there just because there's no point debating. There's no point.
If you'd have put Mudryk, I'll be like, we're keeping Son. We're keeping Son.
I knew coming into this, I'm having Felix in the front three, and the other two spots you can just have. But
Felix, look, Heung-min Son, we all know what Son has done.
That's the only place in the front three you could have put Felix. Very tactical, very tactical.
I am not debating the middle. I'm good.
Nah, because Felix, I've been so impressed with him since he's come in, even though he got that red card in his second game first game actually, and was out for 3 games. I think he's been sensational. Even that game when he got the red card, he was brilliant that day.
Yeah, he was mad. I thought he was your best player before he got sent off in that game. He looks silky, and he looks like he's really. It looks like a bit like, because he's been so shackled at Atletico Madrid. Like, he feels like he's just doing so much defensive work all the time that's not suited him. And it's feel like the shackles are off a bit. He's like just like, even at the World Cup, he was looking good, but he's not looking as good and fresh as he is now at Chelsea. He's looking really classy at the moment.
Because his legs have been cuffed to each other since Atletico Madrid. Simeone wouldn't let him play.
Just whipping him every time he goes forward.
I said that every time I watch João Felix, it's like there is my glimmer of hope right there. The technical quality, the way he beats players.
His glides, doesn't he?
That guy right there is everything that Chelsea fans have pretended Havertz has been for the last 2.5 years. That is the baller right there.
And he's the only one you're not sure you're going to have next season.
Hey, send Kai the other way in like 60, 70, 80, whatever they want. I don't care. But Felix has to be at Chelsea next season. That's my only hope for this attack.
Yeah, and it's a shame because like Heung-min Son, the player he's been at Spurs throughout his career here, and then this season he's just been his poorest season at Spurs. His poorest season at Spurs since he's joined us, and I'm not sure what the issues are, but he just can't seem to score when he's starting. I mean, 4 of his 5 goals have come off the bench this season.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's been with Son. Like, he just doesn't. He looks like a shell of himself every time I watch him.
I think there's a number of different reasons why they've culminated in Son having a really poor season, but it's so hard to watch when you know you've got a player of world-class ability and world-class finishing ability, and like he just can't get near the goal at the moment. It seems he's always like picking the ball up from deep and losing it in cheap situations, and we can't get him in those positions where he's really making the difference, which is in the final third, or in those half spaces just outside the box where his finishing is absolutely world class. And this season, I don't know whether teams have worked him out, or he's doing a lot more defensive work, or he's picking up the ball in different areas than he was last season, but it's just not clicking for him. And we know Son is world class, and I'm sure he'll get back to those levels if we can just tinker a bit or whatever. But it's a hard watch at the moment. I think all Spurs fans are just finding it very, very difficult to know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I do think. I think he's one of those that will come good though. It's just like, I think even with the best players, sometimes they have seasons like it. I quietly feel like it's like you've won the first Golden Boot for like years. It's now like you kind of don't really have the same drive. But even if that's the case, I think next season Son will be back to his best.
Yeah, I think so as well. And the final one of the combined 11, the striker, Harry Kane. Anyone?
No. Havertz, you're having a laugh, bro.
All right, look, Harry Kane.
So you're saying technically Aubameyang's the most informed striker by not playing? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Let's run through this lineup then. 3-4-3 formation. Kepa in goal. A back three of Christian Romero, Thiago Silva, Badiashile. Emerson on the right. Perisic on the left with a middle two of Højbjerg and Enzo. Deki, Dejan Kulusevski and Felix supporting Harry Kane. That's 6 Spurs players, 5 Chelsea players.
Manager?
Hey, we got more than I thought. Let's go. We got
Conte or
Manager,
Potter?
Conte or Potter?
just have Conte.
We're taking Conte.
Big
We'll
up
take
Conte.
Conte.
Big up Conte.
And he's definitely in better form. Just about.
Yes.
Just about. Yeah.
Well, to be honest, Stellini's the one on the good
Stellini,
form.
yeah. Well,
Have
actually,
Stellini if
actually,
you
it's
want.
Stellini or
Have him.
Potter. It's Stellini or Potter.
You
You're
still
right.
Win. You still win.
You're taking Stellini over Potter.
Well, he's unbeaten, Stellini. He's won every game, 100% record.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Potter's on 2 in 15.
So wait. Stellini's won as many games as Tottenham managed in the past month than Potter has in the last 16.
Yeah. 17.
17. That's mad. And he's only taken charge of 2 games.
If you want another stat, Emerson scored more in February than we have.
Wow.
Emerson
Up the
Royale.
Chelsea. Up the Chelsea.
So that's your combined 11. I mean, judging on how poor Chelsea have been, are you surprised actually how many players you've got in there?
Yeah, I was saying I'd take 3 at the start of the video. I managed to sneak in 5. Fair enough. That's a win in my books.
Fair enough.
All right, Lewis. Big up. Thanks for
Big
coming
up
on,
to you,
man.
Lewis. Come on,
bro.
We'll see you all very soon. That is your combined 11. I want to see your combined 11s in the comment section below. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
Come on, you Spurs.